You can remember their face, their voice, and the entire conversation, but somehow, their name disappears first. That is not random. You meet someone new. They tell you their name. You smile, you repeat it, you try to look normal. And 5 seconds later, it's gone. Now the conversation becomes a quiet performance. You are nodding, you are listening, you are making eye contact like everything is fine. But inside, your brain is searching for one missing word. And the worst part is not the memory mistake. It is the fear that if they notice, they will think you didn't care. So you avoid saying their name. You wait for someone else to say it. You laugh at the right moments. You keep the conversation alive while secretly hoping the word comes back. And the more you try to act normal, the louder the panic gets. Because forgetting a name feels different from forgetting almost anything else. If you forget where someone works, it sounds normal. If you forget what they ordered, nobody cares. But if you forget their name, suddenly it feels personal. It feels like you forgot them. And that is why such a small mistake can create so much shame. You are not just trying to recover a word, you are trying to protect an image of yourself. You want to seem polite, present, interested, human. But here's the strange part. Sometimes the name disappears because your brain was paying attention to everything else. Their face, their tone, their expression, the room, your own behavior, the pressure to make a good impression. Your brain was not empty, it was crowded. And this is where the mistake becomes more interesting, because your brain does not save people the way a phone saves contacts. It does not treat every piece of information equally. It saves what feels useful, emotional, or important. A face matters because it helps you recognize someone again. A voice matters because it carries emotion. A story matters because it creates meaning. But a name, when you hear it for the first time, can feel like a random sound. No image yet, no story yet, no emotional weight yet. Just a word floating in the air. And if your attention is already busy trying to understand the person and manage the social moment, that word can disappear before it ever becomes a real memory. Sometimes the name was not forgotten. It was never properly stored. Your brain remembers meaning, not labels. That is why you can remember the guy who told the story about moving to Canada, but not his name. You can remember the woman with the calm voice, but not her name. You can remember the person who made you feel awkward, but not their name. Because those things have hooks. A story has a hook. A face has a hook. An emotion has a hook. But a name often arrives alone, and the brain does not love isolated sounds. It loves connections. This is why you may remember a person better after hearing one real detail about them. Their job, their hometown, their strange hobby, their laugh. The moment the name attaches to meaning, it becomes easier to keep. Before that, it is just a tag, and tags fall off. But this creates a cruel paradox. The more you try to look normal, the less normal your memory becomes, because memory needs attention, and anxiety steals attention. When someone says their name, your brain should be doing one simple thing, giving that name a place to live. But instead, it may be running 5 programs at once. Do I look awkward? Did I smile enough? What should I say next? Am I making this weird? What if I need their name later? And while all of that is happening, the name passes through your mind like a train you forgot to board. You heard it, but you did not catch it. This is why you can be trying very hard and still forget. Effort is not always attention. Sometimes the harder you try to seem present, the less space your brain has to actually remember. And then shame turns one missing word into a story about who you are. You think, I'm bad with names. Then it becomes, I'm bad with people. Then it becomes, something is wrong with me. But maybe that is not true. Maybe your brain was not ignoring the person. Maybe it was overwhelmed by the performance of being seen as polite, confident, and socially normal. The fix is not to force your brain to care more. The fix is to give the name meaning. A name alone is weak. A name connected to something is stronger. So when someone tells you their name, do not just hear it. Use it once. Connect it to their face, their voice, their story, or the place where you met them. Not in a robotic way, in a human way. If someone says, "I'm Daniel," and he tells you he works with music, now your brain has a path. Daniel, music, calm voice, black jacket. The name is no longer floating, it has a place. And if you forget anyway, ask again early. Most people do not hate that. What feels worse is pretending for too long. A simple, "Sorry, remind me your name again?" is usually less awkward than 10 minutes of mental panic. Because the goal is not to become a machine that stores every name perfectly. The goal is to stop treating a normal brain mistake like proof that you are careless. So the next time someone tells you their name and it disappears, notice what actually stayed. Maybe the face stayed. Maybe the feeling stayed. Maybe the story stayed. Maybe the label was the only thing that fell off. That does not mean names do not matter. They do. A name can make someone feel seen. But forgetting one does not always mean you did not care. Sometimes it means your attention was crowded. Sometimes it means the word had no meaning yet. Sometimes it means your brain was trying to understand the person before it saved the tag. Maybe your memory did not fail because it ignored them. Maybe it failed because it was too busy trying to understand them. The face stayed. The feeling stayed. The story stayed. Only the label fell off. You didn't forget the person. You lost the tag. If this made you think of someone's name you forgot, write "lost the tag" in the comments.